What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the North Shore 9 Postgame Show, powered by Primanti Brothers. I'm Jim. With me today, Dougie Fresh. Dougie Fresh, the Pirates lose 9-2. Get blown out again. Drop 2 of 3 to the Dodgers. They're now 11-18 on the season. How are you doing this fine Sunday?
Hi, Jim, I'm not too bad. I mean, honestly, did we expect a different result from this weekend? You
No.
know, I mean, we would have thought, I think it was more likely that we got swept by the Dodgers than even winning 1 out of 3. We
Yep.
got that outstanding game from Skeens. So, I don't know. I mean, we came into this week not expecting too much. It's kind of exactly what we got. Yes, there were some frustrating losses. The way the losses occurred, and it kind of really got to us. But I don't know. I thought we might go 1-5. We went 2-6. You're seeing some signs of life from a few guys. But when McCutchen has a 4-hit game, Oneil Cruz has been fantastic. Hayes has been hitting. It doesn't get easier this week. We get the Cubs and the Padres. But yeah, I'm not going to be too worked up about losing 2 out of 3 in Los Angeles to the world champion Dodgers, who more than triple our payroll, I think. It's
At least, yeah.
Again, some of the things that happen, some of the ways that happen. To be honest with you, I'm just relieved. I went to the grocery store today. I bought a carton of milk, and Matt Gorski's picture was on there. And then I saw him today. So I feel better that, Matt Gorski is alive. He is well. That may have just been a proof of life showing, but, nonetheless, I know that Matt Gorski is still alive and on the roster. So
My favorite part about doing post-game shows with you, Doug, is that I ask you how you're doing, and then you go on this 2.5 minute soliloquy.
Yeah, sorry. I got to
setting up the whole
be or not to be. Sorry.
I love it. Yeah, I said we'll get into
fine, Jim. I'm fine. That was the appropriate answer.
We'll get into all of that. Before we really hop into the game, though, again, Pirates lose 9-2. Let me tell you guys about Bet Online. It's the world's most trusted betting platform and your #1 source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the home stretch for NBA and NHL playoffs. Has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, and scores, even live in-game betting while the games are being played, with the largest selection of odds on everything from MLB, NHL, and UFC. BetOnline remains the #1 online source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to the BetOnline casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here. Well, hopefully people bet on whatever Andy Pajes's over was. All of the Andy Pajes overs. If you did that all weekend long, you made some money. That guy was nuts this weekend. I don't know if I've ever seen a weekend like that.
I mean, he started out with doing it against Skeens, right? When Skeens was just crushing it, right? Skeens is having this unbelievable lights out game, and this guy's just hit 2 doubles off him. I think he had 3 hits. I mean, he had 3 hits in every game. Just unbelievable. It was, it was really impressive to watch. I mean, it was just, he came up and these were not little numbers. He was drilling the ball. Wow, it was something. What did they say? It was like maybe the best series ever or something.
It was the best series since some guy did it against the St. Louis Browns or something like that. Right. It's this is no one's teams that don't even exist anymore. This was the last.
Oh, the St. Louis Browns do exist, Jim. You know who they are, don't you?
Yeah. The Browns are the Twins now.
No, they're the Baltimore Orioles.
They're the Orioles now. All right, well, there you go. So
the Twins were the Washington Senators.
That's right. Okay. All right. But no, Andy Pajes coming into this series was hitting 183. Doug. And he's now batting 277. To raise your batting average like 100 points this late in the year is kind of nuts over a 3 game
he
span.
did it against Paul Skeens and Mitch Keller. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he did not do this. This wasn't all against Kyle Nicolas, right? This wasn't all against Colin Holderman, right? Yeah, something, right? He got some, he had some easier at bats than others, but again, he had 3 hits in the Skeens game. That's just unbelievable.
Yep. Let's kick this thing off. So the game started off pretty cool, pretty great. Tyler Glasnow, our old buddy, our old friend, Tyler Glasnow, of Pirates lore, starting for the Dodgers today against Bailey Falter. And right off the bat, Oneil Cruz gets on with a walk. Brian Reynolds grounds into a double play, clears him off the bases. But then back-to-back homers from Andrew McCutchen and Enmanuel Valdez, early 2-0 lead. And so it's like, okay, all right, this is good. 2-0 lead against Tyler Glasnow. Let's keep it going. Just to kind of talk, and we'll talk more about Cutch later on because he was like the only guy who did really anything all game long. But Manuel Valdez too, like this is an offense that basically Oneil Cruz is sort of carrying it at this point. There's a lot of ineptitude, going around, and I at least give Valdez a little bit of credit for being not inept. He's
right.
At least not bad. His weighted runs created plus after day 107, so he's like been slightly above average as a hitter, which I think if we all would have been told that Valdez would have a 107 weighted runs created plus at this point in the year, like we would have taken that. So
absolutely, he takes the walk. He's not an automatic, grounder to second base, grounder to shortstop guy. He's not lighting anything up, but he's at least serviceable, right? And this team
looks like he belongs on the team at least,
right? We've said this for years. This team needs guys that are just, we need 4 guys that are just average. Yep. If we could replace our 4 170 hitters with just 4 guys that were average, this would be a huge step in the right direction for this team. So, yeah. Not everybody can be Oneil Cruz and Brian Reynolds. It's like he's fine. I'm pleased and pleasantly surprised with what he's done so far.
Yep. Unfortunately, Bailey Falter was not on today. Just an absolute stinker. So after the Pirates grabbed that 2-0 lead, the Dodgers add 4 runs in the first inning. He walks Ohtani and this is a kind of a common occurrence in these first 2 innings for Falter, which is when he really got into trouble. He walks Ohtani to lead off the game, and you can't do that, especially against a lineup like this. You can't just walk the leadoff guy because then you've got Mookie Betts, Teoscar Hernandez, and Freddie Freeman, 2, 3, 4 right behind him. And those guys are going to make you pay when you just give up free bases. And that's what happened today. Ohtani walks, Mookie Betts singles, Freddie Freeman singles. Then Tommy Edman reaches on an error, which somehow Freddie Freeman scores from first on this error. I don't know what happened there. Brian Hayes is assessed 2 errors on this play. I think the second one's going to get taken away because I think it looked like Hayes threw the ball right to Bart and Bart just missed it. But 2 errors on the play by Hayes. And then Andy Pajes finishes off the inning with an RBI single. And then just like that, you had a 2-0 lead and now you're down 4-2. It was just so deflating because what this Dodgers offense is capable of doing. And they just did it super quick against you and just erased your entire lead that you built up in that first inning.
Right. All that feel good vibe. You're like, all right, we're up, 2-0 on the Dodgers. We're in this. And before you blink, it's 4-2. And it's like you said, when you make mistakes to that lineup, they make you pay. And that's exactly what they did. And they are just top to bottom, so good, so lethal. And when you're getting guys like Pyatt going 10 of 11, there's just like you can't even avoid. There's just no getting around it. No easy outs. No rest in line that looks sort of like you provide a lot of teams.
Yep. And yeah, you kind of felt super deflated after that 5-2 deficit in the first, because you're like, oh well, we've got to face Glass now still. Like, we got 2 runs off of him, but how many runs are we actually going to get off of this guy? But then second inning starts, and on his last warm-up pitch, Tyler Glasnow, in obvious discomfort, he gets pulled from the game before the start of the second inning. The Dodgers later announced that shoulder discomfort is what he was left for, but it was like, okay, this is a new development. You know, you were expecting to have to get through Glasnow, and now he's gone after 1 inning. So now you've got, all right, let's get deep into this Dodgers bullpen. They're going to have to go 8 innings now. Let's see what we can do. And we did nothing, Doug. Like,
nothing.
Absolutely nothing. The Dodgers bullpen goes 8 scoreless innings. Ben Kasparius comes in to start that second inning. He goes 3 2/3 innings. It's like his 13th major league game ever. And, you know, he looks like, I don't know. He looks like they brought in Sandy, like a right-handed Sandy Koufax. He's out there just dominating. It was just, the offense completely shut down after that first inning. At no point was there really any. There was just no stress at all the rest of the game.
Right. Yeah, we never put any kind of pressure on them. And again, you think, you know, Frazier extended 11-game hit streak. Hayes had a hit. You know, McCutchen has 4 hits. Yet somehow it was never strung together enough. Never, you know. I mean, we had first and second with nobody out, and sacrifice, whatever, a fly that moved over a runner, and then a double play. And just nothing. We made it easy on them. Guys like what's his name again? Yeah. This pitcher that came in,
Ben Kasparius.
Kasparius, right? This, to me, much more. Well, no, that's probably not true. But like, this is why they're so good, right? They've got Kaspario and Hayes. Like, they have developed these guys, and they find these guys, and they get good production from these guys. Yes, they go out and sign the billion-dollar players as well, and we'll never be able to do that. But we could find a Hayes. We could find, and I guess we do find some pitching. But I mean, that's, you know, and I know payroll is a big problem and all that sort of thing. But to me, our bigger problem is that where the playing field is level, you know, signing a player out of the Dominican, drafting players and developing players, we're getting our butts kicked there, you know, as well. You know, we're not just losing of course we could never sign Shohei, but we could have, you know, discovered a Pajes, and we don't do that. So, yeah, they're a model organization. They really are.
Yeah. Second inning, Falter with another leadoff walk. That run comes around to score. At that point, it's 5-2, and you're still like, you still feel like you have a little bit of life because you've got this Dodgers bullpen you got to face. And then Falter did a good job after that second inning of kind of settling in, scoreless third, scoreless fourth. But then he just leaves an absolute just cookie to Teoscar Hernandez, and Hernandez with a home run. I don't know what, just to talk about Falter a little bit here. I mean, it was obviously not a good start for him. 4 1/3 innings, 8 hits, 7 runs, 5 earned, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, gives up that homer. His ERA is now 5.93 on the year. And Doug, like, I was kind of looking at his pitch breakdown today. The slider and the curveball, the off speed stuff, it was just bad. Like, he was just leaving stuff way over the plate. I think he executed maybe 3 of those sliders all night long, and especially those last 2 batters he faced, Hernandez and Freeman, just breaking balls left, right over the middle. And he just wasn't sharp today. And like, when he has no breaking stuff like that, the fastball's decent. You know, that extension, that fastball plays up because of his extension. But when his breaking stuff is as bad as it was today, he's going to get knocked around, and he got knocked around.
Right. He needs the breaking stuff to be on. He needs to have his control. He has that sneaky fastball, but that ain't enough to get through that lineup or most lineups. And, you know, typically he has the bad first inning. When he is his bad games, he sort of has the bad first inning, and then he settles down. But today, no, it's, he gave up the 4 in the first, and then he gave up another. And then, like you said, he settled down a little. But yeah, and again, when you are making bad pitches, Teoscar Hernandez and Freddie Freeman, you are going to pay, and that's exactly what they did. So, yeah, it was not a good start from him. Um,
Yeah, it's just a team. Like, if you want to beat this team, you can't make as many mistakes as the Pirates made today. Your bats can't go silent for 8 innings. When you do those things, you're going to lose. Like, I think we're all in agreement. The Dodgers are clearly the superior team here, and they showed it today. Like, the Dodgers took advantage of every mistake the Pirates made. The Pirates made much more, many more mistakes than the Pirates, and the players, they just don't stack up. Like, I mean, you look at the Dodgers lineup, they're just the Dodgers are better. Like, and this was a game where I'm not even all that upset about. Like, this is a game where the Dodgers were clearly better than the Pirates. What makes me upset is, like, you kind of have today's game, and then you look back at yesterday and you're like, this is why winning yesterday was so important. And why, maybe going to a reliever that isn't completely washed in a tie game, in a big situation, maybe we do that yesterday. Instead, today, like, just completely outclassed, and the Dodgers roll 9-2 win. It just makes yesterday's game that much more frustrating. Listen, I'm not too frustrated about today's
and
game.
The
Dodgers
Thursday
are
game
better
too, right? That's it.
Yeah.
It's this team's not good enough to give away the wins that they've sort of earned, sort of got themselves to. Yep. And you're right. I mean, it's last night's game that's the frustrating one. We had a shot at that game, and this one we were overwhelmed right from the start. There was, like I said, maybe for an inning or two you thought we were going to hang around, but it wasn't the case. And this, when you shrug your shoulders and say, all right, we got tomorrow off, let's play Tuesday. But yeah, last night gets you.
Yeah, last night's game, and then the Angels, like the last Angels game too. Like, you could have swept the Angels, and you didn't. So instead of going 4-2 or 5-1 on this road trip, which would have been huge for this team, it would have been huge for them to do that on this road trip. Instead, you're 3-3, and you're like, all right, 3-3 is fine, when you're going on the road to face the Angels and the Dodgers, but it's just not taking advantage of the opportunities that are given to you, and they didn't do it this week.
They didn't. Yeah, they didn't. And where it gets frustrating too is, for me, is that when mistakes like yesterday are made, and same thing with the Thursday game, is like, well, the solution to this is simple. Majinski should be in the bullpen. Holderman should be somewhere else. At least in the 6th inning, or proving himself somewhere else. And then, like I said, you've got Bubba and Barco, you got all these guys. It's like, wait a minute, we have the solution. And again, last night, it wasn't about bringing somebody else up or doing something else. It's just like, pitch the better reliever. And a guy that just came off the disabled list, who, again, has not looked good since July of last year. Why are you rushing? I felt the same way when Bednar, God bless him, he did his thing. But it's like, why are you rushing him into this thing? Let him pitch the 7th. It's okay. Let him get 3 outs in the 7th. And so yeah. Not to rehash these other games, but you're right. 4-2, leaving there 4-2 would have just felt miraculous. And remember how good we felt after Friday night's game? How good we felt about the 7th inning of last night's game. It's like, hey man, we're going toe to toe with these guys. We're when our best are going against their best, we have a shot. But yeah, you give that away, and today you just shrug your shoulders, and it's too bad that we did that.
Yeah. So the 5th inning is kind of where this one got out of hand. So once Teoscar Hernandez homered, Freddie Freeman singles, Kyle Nicolas comes in. And Kyle Nicolas was great last time out. Pitched 2 scoreless. I don't know if it was me and you on the post game, Doug, but like, the curveball was being flung in there. He was looking good. Today, though, this was some of the worst I've ever seen him. An inning and a third. He threw 54 pitches to get 4 outs today. 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks. Gave up a home run to Pajes. just a terrible outing by Kyle Nicolas. He's now got a 14.40 ERA. He's up there in the Holderman. His ERA is actually higher than Holderman's.
Higher than Holderman's. Holderman's 12 now.
Yeah, higher than Holderman. And after a 54 pitch performance, like I have a feeling we might not see Nicolas for a while because he's not even going to be available for Tuesday. You might as well send him down and call up another reliever who's going to be fresh for you at this point.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And just again, we're just not. When we have better options, right? We need, I'm still frustrated they didn't pitch Burrows, just an inning somewhere in this. It's so odd sometimes how we use this roster. And I mean, he obviously, we're off tomorrow, but he won't pitch Tuesday, and maybe shouldn't pitch on Wednesday. This one had to take a lot out of him. So, why not send him down and bring somebody else up? And again, we just can't just say, hey, let's put in the guy with the 14 ERA and see if he can get through the next 4 batters. It just, we need to sort of be managing games like it's game 7, because every win is going to be hard to get and valuable, and we'll need it.
Yeah. No, I'm also of the mind that like you can't pitch your top 3 guys every game. Right. And
sure.
if you're losing 5-3 in the 5th, like that's probably not the best spot to use those guys in. But like Kyle Nicolas just clearly didn't have it today. When what was good though was this was the time to go to Colin Holderman. After that, like you go to Colin Holderman when there's nothing on the line, right? And you let him just see if he can get some hitters out. And that's what he did today. He actually went an inning in a third, had a good game, 8 pitches, 5 strikes, got, gave up the 1 hit, but a good outing from Holderman. Like I said, this is what should have been Holderman's first.
That's how you ease him back in, right? That's the blueprint. That's what, right? You bring him in a game where there's, hey, go out and, see what you could do. And he gets you 4 easy outs, right? That's got to boost his confidence because it was in a blowout, but it was 4 outs against the Dodgers. I mean, that's the way. That's like in Manager 101 book. So, you're right. We can't bring in Dennis and Santana every time we're down 5 runs, but.
Like, I don't agree with Holderman even being on this team, but like, if you need to like ease him back in, this is the time to do it. It wasn't last night. Chase Shugart also with a scoreless inning. He was also, shout out Chase Shugart. He got Andy Pajes out.
Yeah.
So,
there you go.
Shout out Chase Shugart.
Yeah, Cy Young right there.
Right.
You know what I was thinking? Eugenio Suarez hit 4 home runs in a game yesterday, and he's probably not going to win Player of the Week. Normally, when you hit 4 home runs in a game, it's just a foregone conclusion. You're going to be Player of the Week. And Andy Pajes may have, they might want to give the Co-Player of the Week award this week because that was, I mean, again, just an outstanding series that guy had.
Yeah. Only other thing I really want to make sure we mention is 1, Adam Frazier, 2 hits. He's on an 11-game hitting streak right now. Now, granted, I feel like all of those hits are just like 70-mile-an-hour bloop singles over the second baseman's head, but just something to acknowledge. Adam Frazier, 11-game hitting streak. But how about Andrew McCutchen? 4 for 4 today with the homer. He's just been the steady bat in this lineup the entire season. He was the only one who basically showed up today, really. He's up to a 128 weighted runs created +2 on the year. His strikeouts are down. His walks are kind of just where you always want to see him, but he's dialed in and he looks good right now.
Yeah, and he's doing it without having every other day off. Like he's got a little more in the tank than it seems that our management thinks. So yeah, it's nice to see. I mean, he's moving up the hit charts. He's about to catch Will Clark. Will Clark was a great hitter. He's I think 3 home runs, or maybe now it's just 2 home runs.
After today, two homers behind Clemente.
The Clemente. Yeah. I mean, come on. And that's I mean, Clemente was not this, Willie Stargell-esque home run hitter, but I don't care. When you're doing anything, you're passing Clemente on any list. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And he looked really good. I mean, again, when I looked at yesterday's game, other than um, Cruz, the 2, 3, 4, and 5 guys were 0 for 16 or something like that. And you're just not going to be able to do much in those circumstances. So you got Cruz going. If Cutch can go, we got Reynolds has been really, really slumping here lately. I think he's like 0 for 12 or 0 for 13, something along those lines. So yeah, I mean that top of the order, there's a little hope there, a little spark. So maybe we'll get Horwitz back. He can help add a little depth to it. But yeah, I mean, McCutchen, we're just, it's just, he just brings such joy, just such joy, so joyful watching him. And I mean, he was close to his second home run today. I mean, he hitting the ball. Again, these were not the Adam Frazier off the end of the bat over the second baseman heads, or, home run, double.
Yeah. Cutch was hitting the ball today. Yep.
Yeah. These were not mistakes. These were not, ball finding grass. He was crushing it. So it was good to see.
That's really all I have to say about this game. This is a pivotal stretch that they're going through right now. They've got 3 straight series against like really good teams with the Dodgers, the Cubs, and the Padres that are coming up next week. So you just lost 2 out of 3 to the Dodgers. You come home, so you got Cubs, Padres this week. It's again, like, these are big games right now. I know it's early in the year, but like, you can't fall back that far. And right now you're in last place. You're 11-18, and you're facing some really good teams right now that if you're not careful, you're about to get buried in these standings. Right now they are the second worst team in the National League according to win-loss record. So
thank you, Colorado.
Thank you, Colorado, for being on a 6-game losing streak and being 4-23. So I think they're squarely in the 14th place in the National League right now. But it's kind of getting to crunch time. Like, these next 6 games are against really good teams, and they've got to compete with them, or they're gonna get buried.
Well, and they've got an opportunity here with the Cubs. You got Heaney pitching Tuesday, right? And then it'll be Skeens
on Thursday.
The Thursday. Yeah. So if you don't let Majinski go into the 4th inning on Wednesday, you might have you know what I'm saying, like, manage this properly, and you've got a chance. You could, if you could take 2 out of 3 from the Cubs. It's a step,
big if.
right?
Big if.
Right. Yeah. Oh, sure. It's right. There's no, I mean, again, we're Skeens can pitch 8 shutout innings and then, whatever, give up 1 unearned run and we could lose. I mean, we can't start counting victories at any point. But if you do go 2 and 3, that's a positive step. And then you're welcoming the Padres in town, and obviously they're first place over the Dodgers right now. So
they're a good team.
They're a good team, and it's a tough lineup, and they, the whole thing. So, and it's why you've just got to nail down every win, fight and claw to make sure and make good managerial decisions in these things. It's the roster is limited. We all know that. So when they put you in a position to win a game, make sure you do everything right to close it out. So
we'll be back tomorrow morning with Bucko Brew, me and Donardo. So 7 a.m. sharp, we'll be live. We'll talk about this past week. We'll talk about the week ahead. And then post-game
talk about Hunter Barco. I think you have to talk about Hunter Barco.
Might have to talk about Hunter Barco. Yeah. But no.
All right, Murph, where are
you? Good stuff, Doug. Thank you to everyone in the chat. Thank you to everybody watching or listening after the fact. Like the video, subscribe to the page if you haven't already. Doug, you got anything else to say before we sign off here?
No, I again, thanks to the chat. You guys keep this thing going. It's amazing. I mean, I'm ready to go, turn on a movie. So, and you guys are still here. All right. So we'll see you Tuesday.
Yeah. See you Tuesday.
Oh,
9-2 loss.
Tomorrow morning. You guys have lots to talk about. So, yeah, Bucko Brew.
We will see you tomorrow and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. So thanks, guys. Pirates lose 9-2. They're 11-18. Let's win some games next week. All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in, whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube. If you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.